Hello, it's Renee, the Practical Shaman, coming to you for the first time since the I Am Winter Solstice Symposium. I hope everyone's doing well. I have been, I can't say that I've been resting, but it feels more restful. I haven't been on social media a lot. I went from the Pacific Northwest. I'm now in the desert. I just got back from LA this week for work, and it's just a glorious day here in the desert. And after I do this live, I'm going to take a very nice long wind walk to get out into nature and really experience the fact that the sun is shining and that I can. All right, well, I just wanted to give you a little heads up about this upcoming workshop that's coming up on February 11th. It's a Saturday morning from 10 to noon Pacific Standard Time, and it's it's for people who want to organize their lives based in the cycles of nature and who would like to really go dive deep in wind work for the year. And wind work is really outlined really well in my book, Winds of Spirit, which, by the way, is coming out in an audiobook this year. And let's call to a wind. And the wind that I called to this morning of all winds was the doldrums, the south-southeast of the doldrums. And maybe some of you also feel like that you're in the doldrums. I was talking to one of my spiritual teachers today, and she was saying that she thinks that we're having it's more of a collective experience where it's so heavy out there that it's really hard to find your footing and really go forward into this new year. And the doldrums, which you can find in chapter 4, is that it's no wind at the equator. And so at the equator, there's a part that Aristotle delineated as the doldrums south-southeast and south-southwest. The doldrums that I put today were the south-southeast, which to me means that new beginnings are like hard to move through, and they bring up all of the old emotional baggage of, oh, I'm not good enough, nobody loves me, we can't, there's not a million people signed up, all the old stories that aren't even true, because the real story is I'm resting. And I'm resting and I'm getting ready to come back out. Season 5 of the Shaman's Cave just started. I interviewed this really interesting man this morning who's just written this brand new book called Soul Medicine, and that will come out this week. So I'm starting to come alive. I'm like the groundhog. I came out of my hole, or I will soon, and if I see my shadow, I'm going to run away, and spring will be in a few weeks. So the doldrums come when you need a break. Invoke this pause. The illness. Wow. Yeah, I had a little illness this week too. The energy of stillness, the energy of death. And so it was between the east and the south. So I'm going to read the east and the south. If the wind leaves your sails and you find yourself stranded in the east, it's time to pause and reflect. As you drift, ask Spirit to help you extinguish old held ideas. That's funny, I just told you that. Now it's not time to pray a request for a new vision. Drifting presents an opportunity to enter higher realms of consciousness. If the doldrums if I was leaning more towards the south wind or the south no wind, efforts to track across your emotional waters will lead to frustration. Now is not the time to pick up the oars and paddle furiously. Relax, retreat, and surrender. Clean your house, go for a walk, which I just told you I was going to do. Write in your journal, cry up a river, watch a funny movie, or have a deep, heartfelt conversation with someone you trust. Well, isn't that interesting? I cried up a river last night. I was raised on country western music. My dad was a country singer, and he brought the Grand Ole Opry to Springfield, Massachusetts when I was a kid. And I was watching George and Tammy. And it was a really sad love story. It was a sad love story. They would have a lot of addiction. And I didn't ever realize as a child, because we were so steeped in that barroom tradition, that it was really reflecting the kind of chaos and stuff going on around in my own life. That aside, there's a lot of that going on. And so let's call to the doldrums. Let's call to finding peace in that stillness. And on that out breath, feel into that still centered place. And on the next in breath, bring in the peace, bring in the serenity. As you let the wind go from the sail, feel like what it is to be on that calm water where there's no movement. And this last third wind breath, call to the wind spirits to help you understand what needs to be, what can be learned during this quiet time. And be with that stillness. Be with that center of that stillness. Okay. So if you resonate with the wind, you feel the wind. Well, what about if you had a wind spirit to guide you that you got to know deeper each and every single month? And that's what we do when we make our prayer flags. You might as well open this one up. Clinch, clinch. And what we do is we work as a group. We work in a community to decorate and craft and make our flags that we then work with for the entire year. And that means somebody will be coming into this group, calling in a wind, sending a wind home. That could possibly be you if you participate. And you can make your wind flags with or without our community, but I just think that when I did that poll last month, everyone said what they really wanted was connection and community. And then somebody's told me, well, I can't afford your class. Well, when the class, I send you the wind prayer flags, I send you the wind spirit cards. You get this great nifty bag from the women in Ghana. And if you want to make your own prayer flags, write to me, and I can lower the price for the difference of the prayer flags and the sending out the stuff. So I don't want people not to participate, not to be part of this community. And if you still can't work that out, then you can make your prayer flags and still pull wind spirit cards. In fact, there's wind spirit cards that you can download for free on any blog on my website at thepracticalshaman.com. Open up a blog and you'll see it right at the bottom. So then what we do is we put our wind cards into our wind sack, and then we pull out one for each month. Now, you might say, why is she starting in February? The year started in January. Well, we pull one for March and April and May and June and July and August and September, October, November, December, because we're hibernating right now. Why would we jump right into the new year with full board wind in January when we're a cyclical clan? We go with the cycles and we've been resting. And so now we're getting ready to come out and see what we want to plant in terms of new seeds for the new year. Now, as you can see, I pulled to the doldrums today, so I must still be resting. And even if I'm still resting in a couple of weeks, that's not to say I can't pull a wind spirit card for March when all of a sudden the seeds start to grow because the conditions are right and things start to move again in my life and in other people's lives as we move in towards the spring. So again, this is a system of how to live that's outlined pretty good in the Winds of Spirit. If you're watching this, you've been around for a minute, or if it's new to you, go over to thepracticalshaman.com. There's plenty of links to get you there. And really think about joining us in community to hold the wind spirits for this coming year, for the next 10 months, but very kind of informal, but we will hold a group together, and it will be a little bit not as tight as the apprenticeship, but a little looser format so more people can come in and get involved and start to work with the Winds of Spirit, one wind at a month. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Renee. I'm the Practical Shaman. And like I said, Winds of Spirit will be coming out in an audiobook this spring. If you don't have a copy, order a copy. It's a great book. Watch for my interview this week with Edward Tick, and his book sounds very interesting and very synchronistic. But he talks about the Greek rituals, and the winds and the winds of spirit are the Greek cardinal winds. So we had a lot to talk about today. So that will be coming out tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm not sure, but sometime early this week. All right. I'm Renee. I'm the Practical Shaman. Please leave your comments, your questions below. And I hope to see you in 2 weeks from today for the prayer flag class, Prayer Flags for Connection and Community. Okay, bye.